Hello, it's me again. It is the March. It's the end of March, kind of. It's March 24th today. But I figured I would share some of my March bolos, or what sold in March. So that's what the video is going to be about today. My name is Julie. I am a full-time reseller. I live in Western Pennsylvania. And I guess that's it for now. I don't really need to explain my life, right? I'm doing a what sold video. So if you hear any weird sounds like meowing, my cat had kittens and they were right beside me and they meow, and I'm sorry. Okay, just letting you know I'm sorry. I hope it's not annoying, but this is the best lighting in the house, so I have to sit here by my cats. Okay. I like to find mostly vintage stuff. That's my favorite stuff to find. But of course, if I see something that would bring a profit, I will grab it, depending. But most of the time, of course, if it's a deal and I can flip it for a good profit, I will get it anyhow. So as far as like clothes and shoes go, I don't do a lot of them, but I do some. Like I said, depending on what I find. So this sold for a nice profit. Vintage Abercrombie & Fitch corduroy hooded jacket. Y2K, that's a good keyword for anything like from the 90s, early 2000s. That's trending. And this was from that era, obviously. It was a really nice coat. Actually, I think I paid up for a bit. I think it was like $8 or $10. For me, that's paying up, but I knew it would flip for a decent profit. It looked cool. The one thing is I actually found on the inner sleeve of, I don't know if it was a both or one, now I forget, but the inner lining was like coming off, and I mean, it was inside the sleeve, but I just thought that looks bad. Like, I don't want to sell, I don't like to sell things that are all messed up if I can fix them. And it won't take too long. So I just got out some thread and stitched them up so they weren't like all wonky inside, and it looked pretty good. And of course, I mentioned that in the listing, you know, you gotta say, you gotta be honest, or you might get bad feedback and all that. So, yeah. That sold $87 plus shipping. I always charge shipping, so that was a good profit. Woohoo! Okay, let's see this one. Vintage needlepoint embroidered art, strawberry framed. Pair of 2 cottagecore, another keyword there. 8x10. These strawberry panels were just in a box, and I shipped the box with the sale, and they had frames, but the frames were like they were pretty much falling apart. So I actually bought 2 frames and framed them myself because I thought they were so cute. And the frames I bought were like really cheap. They were from Walmart, I confess, but yeah, it just made them look better to have them framed, you know. I put the time into it because I like that kind of stuff. Now, if I didn't like the embroidered thing, you know, if this wasn't my bag, I wouldn't put time into it. That's why I think it's important that you sell things you like, because you have more fun with it, you know. I mean, not everything's going to be your thing, maybe depending on what you sell, but I tend to veer towards things I enjoy because that just makes the job more enjoyable, right? So yeah, those sold for $32 for the pair. I know I took a best offer. I had them higher than that, but they kind of sat for a while. And sometimes if I have like a slow day, you know, and someone like gives me an offer, I'll accept it as long as it's not like really crappy, or I'll counter offer for a more reasonable price. But I don't know what I paid for those, but it wasn't a lot. But then you factor in that I paid for the frames, so really, was that a huge flip? Probably not, but I enjoyed doing it anyhow. Okay, next one. This is kind of neat. Vintage Northern Lights candle. The Glowing Wave Fluorescent Effect Y2K Trippy. Okay, this is I seen this. I think I paid, I don't even know if I paid $1 for it. I think it was $1 or 75 cents or even 50 cents. I don't know. I seen it. I'm like, whoa. That reminds me of when I was a teenager. Anything that reminds me of my teen years. I feel so old, but I always think I better buy it because that stuff's trending right now, like 90s stuff. And this is from the 90s. I remember having a couple of these candles, and the fact that it was still in decent shape. If it was burnt at all, it was just like a tiny bit at the top, because you know, a lot of these decorative candles are bought just to, you know, to sit and be like my hair's bugging me, more of a, you know, decor thing. So yeah, it wasn't burnt, but a little bit. I sold it for $13, $13.05 plus shipping. Now, I did have it a little higher than that. I took a best offer, but I figured I paid like maybe $1 for it, so I really didn't care. So yeah, that was a good one. I am a chick who likes dolls. I like girly things. It's another thing I'm into, so I will pick up Barbies here and there, not all the time, but especially if I find a cool Barbie. Those are the kittens if you hear, I'm sorry. If I see Barbies that are cool looking, they look a little different, they look really old, vintage of course, they're in decent condition, I'll pick them up here and there, it depends. But this one I will share with you. It looked cute, but once I touched her hair, I noticed it felt like someone dipped her hair in like glue, like a kid just went hog wild on her hair, and oh, it was bad. It was sticky and it looked really greasy and weird, and she was priced down because of that. I only like paid $1 for her, I think. So I thought, you know what, she's really pretty, she has her outfit and her little glasses. So I bought her home, and I just started like YouTubing how to clean Barbie hair. That's kind of bad, you know, and I found out if you use baby powder, it will kind of dry out a bunch of any like greasy areas, and then you wash the baby powder out and it should be good to go. But oh my gosh, her hair was so bad. I had to do it like, I think I did it like 3 or 4 times, and I didn't like sit there and obsess over it or anything, but like every now and again, you know, I'd have her sitting on the counter, and it took me like a couple weeks. She was just like a side job for me, you know. Side job, that sounds bad. Yeah, okay, anyhow, but you know, like I tinkered with her until she looked magnifique. Is that the thing I'm thinking of? I don't know. Chef's kiss. I was thinking of that, I think. I don't know. But anyhow, you know, I get sidetracked all the time. I'm sorry. I thought it was a glow up moment. She had a glow up moment. Her after picture looks amazing, and I get into it. I love photography. So if that's another thing I like about getting like stuff I like, is I can take really cool pictures of it because I really get into it. And the Barbies, I'll pose them all like, you know, snazzy. I like the ones you can bend their arms and stuff, and you know, like a model and stuff. Like, it's so cool. Hello, cat. Hello. Yeah, I'm becoming a cat woman, just so you know. I have a lot of cats. Okay, so here we go. Another one. Vintage Superstar Barbie 1981 Fashion Collectibles Yellow Outfit Overalls. I found a bag of Barbie clothes at the thrift store for $1. I have a really good thrift store near me that has amazing prices. I paid $1 for a whole bag of vintage Barbie clothes. Now, the bag wasn't like huge or anything like that, but it had probably like 7 outfits in it that looked good. I mean, almost mint, old Barbie outfits, and you can just freaking take a picture, look it up, you know, use Google Lens. People collect old Barbie clothes. Some of them are worth a lot of money. So that's always a good thing to pick up for a decent price. Let's see. So that sold for $10. Like I said, I paid $1 for the whole bag, and I've already sold like 2 or 3 outfits out of it. So definitely in the profit. Not bad. Speedo swimsuit, 1 piece, really, you know, plain swimsuit, but Speedo's a good brand. So I seen it. It was cheap. I think I paid a couple bucks for it. Sold it for $19. Positive feedback. And this one actually went to Canada or something, so they paid up for it. Yeah, I did go to Canada, so yeah, that's not bad. But this other swimsuit, I'll show you. I'm sorry, my hair is just driving me nuts. This like swoopy thing, I like it to swoop a certain way, and it's not swooping like I want it to swoop, guys. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay, here I find this swimsuit retailed for like over $300. I almost, you know, crap my pants. I was like, I'm always like sticker shocked at like high-end clothes, because I am so not, like, I know there's clothes out there that cost that much, but no one I know ever buys clothes that expensive. I'm not like, you know, in LA, or, you know, I'm not around like super uber rich people who spend that much money on clothes. So whenever I find something that's worth that much, I'm always like, wow, that's crazy. People spend this much on swimsuits. So I thought, wow, this is cool. And I figured out at the very bottom, I'll post a picture because I don't have it right here, but the brand was a little gold like plaque on the bottom of the swimsuit. I didn't even notice it at all until I looked stuff up and found it out. So I thought, okay, this is cool. I seen some were selling on eBay decently, not a bunch, but enough, you know. So I priced it at like $100 and some because I thought I only paid $3 for it. It's a high-end swimsuit, but you know, I don't really think I'm gonna get that much out of it. As far as the retail price, I wasn't gonna go that high, which I probably could have went higher, but sometimes I just don't care as much depending on the item. But so I'm sorry I don't have it here with me, but I will post it. It sold for I think $100 or over $100, like within a day, and it sold. So, but she did send me an offer because I had it higher than that. So I was just happy that it sold. I'm like, I just paid $3 for this swimsuit that sold for $100. So that's a Bolo, that brand. So now this time of year, every time I go into the thrift stores, I've been looking through the bathing suits because I don't think that's always something people look at. I never really did either until that happened, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably pay attention to swimsuits, especially this time of year. This was a really cool poem that someone actually, you could tell it was done in calligraphy, and they drew the feathers, and it was matted. It had no frame, but it looked really nice. And believe it or not, this was in a free box. This one thrift store around nearby, they do like a free every second Friday of the month. They do a giveaway where they just set a bunch of boxes outside and you can take whatever you want. And there wasn't much because I went kind of later in the day, but there was a couple things I picked up, and this was one of them. So it was free, and it sold for $20. Positive feedback received too. That's nice. I don't always notice my positive feedback. I mean, I read them, but sometimes, you know, I don't pay attention like I should. We got vintage Norcrest ballerina girl figurine, porcelain golden accent, signed rare. This doll, or figurine, I guess you call her, she was so pretty. She had a little tiny chip on her somewhere. It wasn't really visible. I think it was like under the skirt or on the back somewhere, and she was in this big bucket of like trinkets I got at a thrift store, or not thrift store, estate sale. the dude running it was like selling the buckets for like, some of them are only like $5 a piece for a huge, like, you know, tub full of crap. Like, and I bought like 3 or 4 buckets there because why not? But the only thing with that is then you gotta like sort through the stuff and you end up with a lot of like crappy stuff you probably wouldn't really sell. But if you don't mind the work and looking through the stuff, you find good things, you know, it's definitely worth it. It's just more work. And I just what I started doing is I just redonate stuff, you know, if I'm not going to use it, it's like someone else might want it, just redonate it. But she sat for a while, months, I don't know how many months, but I always had watchers on her. It was one of them items like people watched it. I'd send out what are they called? Not deals, offers. I'd send out offers and nobody bought her forever, and then finally she sold. I talked about this in my prior video. Vintage Stan Herman house coat, Chanel, zipper, front medium light blue, robe, nice. This is fabric y'all need to be on the lookout for. It's called Chanel. Anything Chanel usually sells really good, and it's usually a good flip, like depending on how much you pay for it, of course. And it sold for $36.79 plus shipping. Ooh, this was, I like this when I sell things like this because it's pure profit, really. The skirt, blue sky tie-dye drawstring skirt, stash pocket, size large, corduroy, boho hippie. So this was a skirt I had forever that I just never wore very much. Actually, I probably could have put like Y2K and stuff in this listing too, because that skirt's from like the late 90s, early 2000s. I had it forever. So yeah, it was in my shop for a while though. Finally sold for $18 plus shipping. Anything with mushrooms on it that's vintage is always gonna sell. Like, it's probably trending right now, I'm sure. Vintage fondue pot mushroom pattern with wood handle, mid-century modern. This sold for $15. I think I paid like $3 for it, around there, and it was cute. Like, the mushroom pattern wasn't like super in your face or anything, like some other stuff is super cute, but it was still cute. And I think I took a best offer on that because I believe I had it on there for a little more, but it took a while to sell because, like I said, the mushroom pattern was a little more subtle. So yeah, would I pick it up again? Yeah, though, because it's mushrooms. I like retro, I like anything vintage, and it sold, so you know. Vintage Anri, I don't know how to pronounce that, chess pieces, Renaissance, medieval, ES low, I don't know how to say this, complete 32-piece set. So anyhow, I'm bad at pronouncing certain things, so there's that. This was in a bag for $1. This whole freaking, and I just thought, oh, they're cool looking old chess pieces, I'll get them for $1, you know, what's to lose there. I had no idea if it was complete. I was shocked actually when I counted them and it was 32. That's a full set. I'm like, holy crap, the whole set's here. That's awesome. So yeah, I looked them up, found them. These sold like within a couple weeks for $32 for the whole set. So that was cool. So yeah, like old, if you find old, sorry, the kittens are meowing again. They're kind of loud. If you find old chess game pieces, things like that, as long as they're in good condition and they're unique, always. You can also find old poker chips. I've sold those, and sometimes they're Bakelite, which makes them even more expensive or worth more. So yeah, that old stuff, and usually at the thrift stores they don't have them priced up very high, so that's always nice. Okay, this is an old Bible, vintage Nelson New American Holy Bible, 1971, Catholic edition, black leather, small. So Bibles sell, most of them. I usually pick them up because they are usually really cheap. like $1 or $2, and if they got leather, they're old. I don't know, that's the main thing I look for. You can look them up at least if you just don't want to buy them, but usually they have them for fairly decent prices. This one was in really good condition. This Transformers The Last Nighthound TLK Premier Edition Voyager Class Act figure. Any kind of toys that are Transformer, Power Rangers, of course, most people know Legos sell really well, Lego minifigures. A lot of like specific old toys sell well, like the action figures, and I've noticed that people really collect them. Another one I've noticed is like any old Spider-Man stuff from like back when the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies were popular. Oh my gosh, some of that stuff, any of the action figures or anything, yeah, they'll sell. And the one I'll end with is a pretty exciting sale, because the other day, well, it was 2 weeks ago I was just looking at a piece of art. I was like, as you can see in the background, I have a lot of artwork up, and it's a lot of like finds from thrift stores and stuff. Of course, since I'm a reseller, I collect things, and I am an artist as well. So the other day I was just looking at a piece of art on my wall, and here it is, I'll share. And I thought, you know what, it's kind of in an odd area, I never even really see it. I'm not like into that, and I'd rather just sell it, because I just feel like selling it and seeing if it would sell, you know. So I plonked it right up on eBay, and I'll share my post, I don't have it in front of me, but one of a kind, I know OOAK stands for one of a kind, which is a good little thing, to use in your listings. But I didn't know what to expect, so I had it priced a little higher at like 60 something, and then I thought about it for a while, and I thought, you know what, this is like pure profit. It's just a painting I did like a couple years ago, so I priced it at 45, and it sold like yesterday. I was like, ooh. I was so excited, because that's like the first time I've actually sold something I painted, like an actual canvas piece, on eBay. I've sold a lot of stuff locally, and I've done commissions. I do stuff, but I've never, I thought like that would be cool, you know, to sell my artwork on eBay, because why not, you know? That's cool that I can do that now that I have an eBay store and it's profitable. But I don't have a lot of time to paint, but I still do. I make time for it because I love it so much. And here, actually right in front of me, is something I'll grab that I painted. I'm not finished with it yet, but I'll share before I end the video. So I thought this was cool. At the thrift store, I found this old, like, refurbished, it was just this, not the mushrooms weren't there, just the wood and the window, and someone had already added a little hanging thing on here so you could hang it up. And I had it for a while because I thought it was cute. Sorry, the kittens are loud. And I thought, you know what, it just needs something added to it. So this is my little design I added. I thought it was cool. You can put it up, you can hang it up in the window, or just on the wall or wherever you want, because it's cool, because it's, you know, it is a window glass pretty much, and the light can shine through it and stuff too. So I'm not done. I still need to add some detail, but I did this mushroom like on the outside, as you see, and this one's in the background, and then the little moon. The little moon's a little wonky, but that's because I'm not finished with it. I gotta spruce her up a little bit. But yep, that's the end of this video. If you all want to check out my eBay store, it is called Jules Revival, and I will link it down below.